What's up, guys? Jordan McAbee here with FantasyRacingOnline.com, home of the Slingshot Fantasy Auto Contest. And today we're going to make some fantasy NASCAR picks for the Daytona Road Course. All right, week one's in the books there with the Daytona 500. Hopefully you got a figured out and kind of realized how the scoring works in this game if you're new. If you didn't remember from last year if you played. Place differential is a huge factor in scoring, and that is going to come into play again here with the Slingshot game on Sunday at the Daytona Road Course. Because, unfortunately, we have this race right after Daytona 500, which means the starting lineup is set kind of a major factor is not only the finishing order of the last race, but also owner's points. And I believe they use this year's owner's points. So we got a bunch of good guys starting way in the back, which means there are quite a few options on how you want to build your Slingshot fantasy lineup for Sunday. Personally, I typically, when I sit down and come up with a lineup and submit it for this game, it usually comes to me pretty quick. I'm talking 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I can pretty much pin down where I want to go. This week, not so much. There's several different ways you can go here. I think you can go hit the higher price guys and then a few guys in the middle and then a dud, or you can stick to that middle salary range and kind of go for an overall even lineup. I don't know as of right now, which is Thursday afternoon. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I just know the two possible routes. I've kind of narrowed it down to the two possible routes that I'm thinking of. So let's talk about the Daytona Road Course first here for a little bit. So this is the first of 7 road course races this year. So this is going to set the stage for the upcoming year. We raced here last week, or 21 cars did last week with the Busch Clash. So if we go back and look at those numbers, there is the Busch Clash box score, but where are we going here? All right, so Kyle Busch won the race because Chase Elliott wrecked Ryan Blaney on the final lap, and Kyle Busch was in third and passed them both. The fastest car, though, which is interesting and a solid takeaway from this Busch Clash, the fastest car according to Green Lap Speed was Kyle Busch. Martin Truex Jr. second, Denny Hamlin third. JGR. That is without a doubt noteworthy. If they bring that type of speed again here Sunday, we could see kind of a dethroning. And let me explain. So let's go and look at the last 5 road course races overall. So road course races used to be twice a year. We'd have 2 road course races a year, Sonoma, Watkins Glen. They then added the Charlotte Roval 2 or 3 years ago, I think. And now this year, 2021, we have 7 road course races. So it's important for these teams to be fast on these road courses. But let's go back and look at these last 5. So let's look at 2019, 2020. And I've kind of averaged some numbers for us here. Look how dominant Chase Elliott is. So let's sort this by fastest laps. So this chart here that you're looking at takes the total fastest laps of each driver divided by the total laps that they ran over those races. So Chase Elliott had an engine failure in one of the Sonoma races. That's why his number's lower than everybody else. Christopher Bell down here only has 2 races in this time span because he was a rookie last year. 22.86% of the laps that Chase Elliott has ran on road courses over the last 2 years, he's had the fastest lap. He's led 41% of those. He's been in the top 15 for 92% of the time. Like, Chase Elliott is on another level when it comes to road courses. And by the way, he's starting on the pole this Sunday. Martin Truex Jr., William Byron are about... So road courses, you look at it this way. You got Chase Elliott up here. You got Martin Truex Jr. a little bit behind him. And then there's a huge gap to everybody else. And right now you could make a case for Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, could possibly make a case, or Denny Hamlin. I don't want to give him credit, but Denny Hamlin. Logano's kind of up there. If you look at his numbers, did I say William Byron? But Chase Elliott is in another dimension when it comes to road courses. Now, the unfortunate thing for the Slingshot game this week is he's starting on the pole, which means he has no place differential potential. What he does have, though, is stage win potential. It's I won't say it's very likely, but it is likely that Chase will win at least one of the stages on Sunday. They might play the strategy game to get in position at the end to win, but he's more than likely going to lead the most laps and possibly win both stages. Now, what's interesting with the Slingshot lineup construction this week is we have Martin Truex Jr., who starts way back in 19th, second highest priced. So you now have place differential potential with the second best driver on this type of road course. To me, this becomes a dilemma of, do I want to go with Chase Elliott, who has potential? If he would blow an engine, he's going to absolutely destroy your lineup. If he finishes 40th, that is negative, 78 points just from place differential. So he'll score negative. If he finishes 40th, he'll score negative 76, maybe a little bit more if he leads a lap or leads the most laps or whatever. But you get the point. So let's go ahead and build a lineup starting with Truex, because my strategy with this race is to focus quite heavily once again on place differential. It was super important at Daytona last week. It's not as important this week, but the situation has presented itself of you can't ignore it. It is going to be a major factor in this game on Sunday, and chances are the best scorers at the Daytona Road Course will be a lineup full of place differential plays. So let's start with Martin Truex Jr. here. And I'm going to start with, as I said before, the kind of top-heavy lineup here. So Truex at 12,300. Alex Bowman might be the safest option in this game. Starts 36th. I believe my algorithm has him projected finishing top 10 right here at 9th. So you can see my algorithm predicted finishing order here. Got Chase, Truex, Hamlin, Logano, Blaney as your top 5. Keselowski, Byron, Harvick, Bowman, Kurt Busch, and then Kyle Busch. I did make a note in this article once again why the algorithm is not super high on Kyle Busch, even though he just won the Busch Clash and he was super fast here at the Daytona Road Course in the actual race last year. But you can check that out. Alex Bowman, safest option in this game, starting 36th. Once again, the Hendrick Chevrolets have great speed on these road courses. William Byron is an underrated road course racer, I'd say, but he's starting to get the hype behind him. People are finally starting to talk about him on these road courses. The main problem with him is he often kind of loses speed near like the second half of the race, and then like he'll have a top 5 day going and then slip back to top 10. But he starts 22nd, which is great upside here for place differential. So let's throw him on here. So far we got Truex, Bowman, Byron. We have $16,100 left for 2 more drivers. And here's where things get a little interesting. So AJ Allmendinger is, I don't want to call him a great play, but he's there. You know, he starts 34th. We all know how good AJ Allmendinger is. I don't exactly trust the equipment, nor do I trust him. He's a very aggressive road course racer, which can it can get him up there and finishing top 5. But I think you really have to weigh that risk of, do you want him and do you want to really take on that risk? So if you do, If we throw him on this lineup, that leaves us 7,400. I don't exactly love this. You can come down here and grab Ty Dillon to round out the lineup. He starts 38th. He's in that Gaunt Brothers number 96. Let's go and check. So I've talked about this site before. It's called driveraverages.com. It is a free website. Tons of great stats on here. This is one of my favorite free websites to use as far as for fantasy NASCAR. You can go here and click on averages by track type. It's going to list all the tracks that are active in this year. Click on road course, and this is going to where did this go? One bad thing about driveraverages.com is it loads extremely slow sometimes, especially on the race days, but I've noticed it here just during the week when I've tried to get to it. But if you have a little patience, we'll get there. So gives you tons of great stats, like I said. So this is since February 2018. So I was talking earlier about 2019 and 2020. This one throws in automatically 2018. But what you can do with this is go to detail, and it's gonna filter out how each driver has done on road courses ever. So you can look at Truex, and like this is the Busch Clash from this year. 7th, 3rd, 7th, 2nd, 1st, 2nd, 1st, 1st over the last 9 road course races, and he has a 14th in there. And then you look at Chase Elliott, 1st, 37th. There's that blown engine at Sonoma. 6th, 1st, 4th. Just ridiculously good. And you can sort all of these columns. You know, if you wanted to sort by average rating, driver rating, you can go there. You see Harvick there, 3rd best. Larson. One thing I believe, Larson was always really good at qualifying, which helps you at road courses. He didn't turn out bad in recent, though, in these last top 15s and 5 of his last 6. It's not awful. I forget where he starts. So Larson, I know I'm kind of getting off on a tangent here. Starts 8th. See, I don't love him because he doesn't have that place differential potential for me. So getting back to this lineup, we now have 4, really all 5 of these are really solid place differential plays. You got Truex, who could win the race. Bowman, who should be solid top 10. Byron as well, who could be top 5. Allmendinger, who knows what to expect with him. I'm a little cautious with him. I could see, I'm kind of just banking on a teens finish here. And then Ty Dillon, go back and see how Suarez did in the road courses in this Gaunt Brothers car last year. 25th, 27th. He's never really had a couple top 5s, but that's it. So yeah, or you could come down here and grab Daniel Suarez if you like him instead of Ty Dillon. So if you want with Suarez, that leaves you with this lineup an extra $1,200 to work with. If you didn't want to go Byron, you could jump up and grab someone like Ryan Blaney, who starts 27th, who just won the Busch Clash, who won at the Charlotte Roval before. You could grab Kyle Busch as well. Or if you wanted to go away from Bowman and still have Byron on here, I was hoping I could run up there and grab Chase, but that doesn't look possible. Yeah. So this is just kind of one lineup construction that I'm considering, something like that with a Truex. And if you have $200 left over, Truex and Chase are, like I said, they are the cream of the crop at road course races. Truex has the place differential potential on Sunday. Chase has the dominator potential. They both should be very high-scoring drivers in this slingshot game. Truex is the safer option. Let's put a lineup together here. You know, going a more centralized approach, which you're still going to have one cheaper guy, but you won't have to dig down. If you do this approach, you won't have to dig down to the Ty Dillons or the Daniel Suarez's. So one interesting option is Chris Buescher. I'm getting my tabs mixed up here. Buescher is by no means great at road courses, and God did he kill me at Daytona last week. But he's not awful. Look at this. 20th at the Charlotte Roval last year, 5th here at the Daytona Road Course. He wasn't awesome by any means, but he finished 5th. He was in the same type of position, by the way, at the Busch Clash, or in the Busch Clash. 18th, 13th, 16th, 17th. He's a solid top 20 road course racer in my book. He hasn't finished out of that range since 2016 when he was in the Front Row Motorsports car. I believe it was Front Row then, 34. So if you want to pivot down off of Allmendinger, I don't hate Buescher. And now this leaves you $42,000 for your 4 drivers. So if you would grab someone, and you could still throw in Allmendinger here in a lineup like this. But let's just for fun, let's go to Reddick, who, by the way, looked extremely impressive in the Busch Clash. Now, fair warning, I would not put an extreme amount of stock in that race, but it was noteworthy how strong Reddick was, because he wasn't super strong on road courses last year, so that was quite the surprise. But here, so we got Reddick, we got Buescher, Byron, Bowman, got 11-4. You can either throw Blaney, Kyle Busch. You come down here. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably do one. You could essentially have 4 or 3 of these 4 drivers here. So if you want to do Blaney and Kyle Busch and Byron, you could. If you want to do Blaney, Bowman, Byron, you could. Kurt Busch is a solid option if you want to save even more cap here. And if you took Reddick off and went Allmendinger, that leaves you $500 to work with when you have Blaney, Byron, and Bowman. So you could do Blaney, Kyle Busch, Bowman, Allmendinger, Buescher. Solid place differential lineup. Kyle Busch starts 14th. It's a little high, but still, that's outside the top 10. He was just... if you get a chance, go back and watch the Busch, or not the Busch Clash, but this Daytona race last year, Daytona Road Course race. He was super strong. And then he had the top green flag speed in the Busch Clash. He's had bad luck on road courses lately, but it's still Kyle Busch. He could win this race on Sunday. Other options. Eric Jones is a question mark at best. I like Eric Jones. I pick him a lot in fantasy NASCAR. I used to, at least when he was in the 20 car. I don't know about this year. We'll see how it kind of unrolls. I think Eric Jones's finishes at road courses were definitely bumped up by the fact that he was in a Gibbs car. In fact, I talked about that. I talked about that kind of with where are we at here? With my preview. I talked about Christopher Bell and why I think he's an underdog this week because he's in that 20 car. Not to mention, again, Gibbs had so much speed in the Busch Clash. But let's go back here quick. So, Eric Jones, road courses. When he was with Furniture Row, that 77, 25th and 10th, moved over to Joe Gibbs, and he was 7th, 5th, 30th, 8th, 4th, 40th. So a couple duds. He'll have that. It's Eric Jones. He wrecks some weeks. 11th and 3rd. He suddenly turned into a top 5 contender, legitimate, in that car. Now, going just off of that and how drivers have done recently on road courses. You'd look at Eric Jones starting 37th, great pick. I just don't love the equipment. And this early in the season, I don't particularly love, especially in a league like the Slingshot contest, I don't like getting super risky here early on. I've always been, personally, as a fantasy NASCAR player, my best has always been in the second. I've always been at my best in the second half of the season. I like to use the first half of the season as a learning curve. So I like to be a little more conservative now, which is why I'm shying away from Eric Jones at skill tracks and tracks where equipment actually comes into play, unlike Daytona last week, because I did pick him last week, and then he wrecked. But yeah, that's kind of where my head's at this week. I'm switching up the Slingshot article format a little bit, so let me know your thoughts on that. Love it or hate it. And good luck on Sunday. This should be a pretty good race. It's going to be a short one. I think it's 70 laps. That's it. 235 miles, but road courses are always crazy. Always lots of strategy at play, and the real the most talented drivers typically come out. So don't pick Austin Dillon. See you guys. Good luck.